Day 17 of the government shutdown, and things are spiraling fast. Over 900,000 federal workers are furloughed, 2 million more are working without pay, and the ripple effects are hitting every corner of America. But here's what no one's telling you. Shelves are emptying, panic is spreading, and the clock is ticking. Military families are lining up at food banks. Airports are descending into chaos. Basic supplies vanishing faster than anyone expected. If you think this won't touch your life, you're dead wrong. Stick around, because I'm breaking down the 12 everyday items that are disappearing right now and what you need to grab today to keep your family safe. I'm Mike, just a regular parent who's been watching this disaster unfold. I've done the research, crunched the numbers, and seen the fallout firsthand. Experts predict this shutdown could drag on for 44 days, 6 weeks of uncertainty, layoffs, and chaos. This isn't just politics, it's survival. In this video, I'll reveal the 12 must-have items flying off shelves, explain why they're critical, and show you how to prepare before it's too late. Don't wait until you're left behind. Have you noticed shortages or price spikes in your area? Drop a comment, it could help someone else stay ahead. Let's dive in. Water, the non-negotiable lifeline. Let's cut to the chase. Water is the single most critical resource you need to survive. Forget food for a second. You can go 3 weeks without eating. But without water, you're looking at 3 days, max. And here's the kicker. The government agencies responsible for monitoring and maintaining your water supply, many of them are either shut down or operating on skeleton crews, thanks to the ongoing government shutdown. That means the water coming out of your tap could be clean, or it could be a gamble. If you live in a city, don't get too comfortable. Urban water systems are already under strain, and with climate change wreaking havoc on infrastructure, 2025 has been a brutal year for water reliability. Add in the shutdown, and you've got a recipe for disaster. People are already panic buying water filters like LifeStraw, Sawyer Mini, and Berkey gravity filters. These aren't just flying off the shelves, they're practically evaporating. And the prices? Outrageous. A Sawyer Mini that used to cost $25 is now going for $60 or more. That's triple the price for the same product. All because people are scared. Here's the thing. These filters are worth every penny. A Sawyer Mini can filter up to 100,000 gallons of water. That's enough to keep your family hydrated for years, or even share with your neighbors if things get really bad. But don't wait. By the time you realize you need one, they'll be gone. And for those thinking, I'll just boil my water, let me stop you right there. What happens when the power goes out? Your fancy electric stove isn't going to do you any good. I've been there, grid down, no power, and everyone in my building scrambling for batteries and candles like it's the apocalypse. The smell of stale water and the sound of people banging on pipes for pressure, it's not something you forget. So here's the move. Get a reliable water filter now. Don't wait for the shelves to clear out. And if you've already noticed price hikes or shortages in your area, drop a comment below. Let's help each other stay ahead of the curve. 2. Water storage and purification tablets. Your backup plan. Having a water filter is great, but what happens when the taps run dry? That's the scenario no one wants to think about. But it's a very real possibility during a prolonged shutdown. This is where water storage and purification tablets come into play. First, let's talk storage. Collapsible water containers are a game changer. These things are lightweight, take up almost no space when empty, and can hold anywhere from 5 to 10 gallons when filled. I bought a set last year and stashed them in my closet. They're so compact, they're practically invisible behind my old sneakers, but when trouble hits, you can unfold them and have a reliable water supply in minutes. Now, here's the catch. Even stored water can go bad. That's why you need purification tablets like AquaTabs or Oasis. These little tablets are insanely effective. Drop one into a liter of water and it's safe to drink. No boiling, no electricity, no hassle. A pack of 100 costs around $15, and trust me, that's a small price to pay for peace of mind. Pro tip: at the first sign of trouble, fill your bathtub. I'm talking the moment you get an emergency alert on your phone, you sprint to the bathroom and start filling. A standard tub can hold 40 to 60 gallons of water. That's a lifesaver in a crisis. To keep it clean, invest in a water bob liner. These reusable liners cost about $30 and ensure your emergency water supply stays free of debris and contaminants. I learned this the hard way last winter during a power outage. The city issued a boil water advisory and people lost their mind. Bottled water disappeared from store shelves in hours. Luckily, I had my collapsible containers and purification tablets ready to go. My apartment may have been cramped, but it felt like a fortress. Have you ever had to scramble for clean water during an emergency? Or maybe you've used purification tablets before. Share your story in the comments. And trust me, you'll want to stick around for item 7, it's a game changer. Canned goods. The underrated hero. Let's be real. Canned goods don't exactly scream luxury. No one's bragging about their stockpile of split pea soup on Instagram, but when it comes to survival, canned goods are the unsung heroes. And right now, they're disappearing faster than you'd think. Here's why. Aluminum. The material used to make those little metal cans is in short supply this year. It's not just a rumor, it's a documented issue between supply chain disruptions and increased demand. The canned goods market in 2025 is taking a massive hit. Store managers are struggling to keep shelves stocked, and when they do, prices are through the roof. But it's not just about the cans. Weather-related crop failures are driving up the cost of food across the board. That means fewer canned vegetables, beans, and soups making it to your local grocery store. The result? Bare shelves and skyrocketing prices. Here's what you need to do. Stock up on canned meats like tuna, chicken, and even Spam. These have a shelf life of around 5 years, which means you can buy them now and not worry about them for a long time. Canned veggies and beans are also essential. They're packed with protein and fiber, which are crucial during a crisis. And don't forget soups. They're ready to eat straight out of the can. No cooking required. I've seen this play out before. Last winter, canned chicken at my local store jumped from $2.05 to $30 to $4.99 in less than 2 weeks. People were desperate, and the discount aisle turned into a battleground. Don't let that be you. Stock up now and you'll be prepared while everyone else is panicking. And here's a heads up for parents. Remember the baby formula shortage of 2022? It's still a problem. One delayed shipment, and the shelves look like a scene from a post-apocalyptic movie. If you have a baby or know someone who does, make formula your top priority. Have you noticed canned goods disappearing or prices spiking in your area? Share your experience in the comments. And trust me, we're just getting started. Item 7 will blow your mind. 4. Freeze-dried meals. The gourmet survival option. If you've got a little extra room in your budget, freeze-dried meals are the gold standard of disaster prepping. These aren't your average survival ration. We're talking real meals. Beef stroganoff, chicken Alfredo, even mac and cheese, that taste better than what's left in your fridge during a crisis. Brands like Mountain House, Expedition Foods, and Firepot are leading the charge. Their meals are lightweight, portable, and have a shelf life of 25 to 30 years. Yes, you read that right. You could buy them today, forget about them until 2050, and they'd still be good to eat. Now let's address the elephant in the room: price. These meals aren't cheap. You're looking at $10 to $15 per meal. But think about what you're getting. They're easy to store, require no refrigeration, and only need water to prepare. No stove, no microwave, no problem. During the shutdown, I watched Amazon sell out of freeze-dried meals 3 times in 1 month. People know what's coming, and they're preparing. I even told my neighbor to stock up. She laughed it off until she saw the sold-out signs at our local camping store. Here's the thing. Freeze-dried meals aren't just for emergency. They're perfect for camping trips, road trips, or even those nights when you don't feel like cooking. And the taste? Surprisingly good. I've had freeze-dried chicken Alfredo that made me double-check the expiration date because it tasted so fresh. If you see these meals in stock, grab. They're worth every penny. And if you've ever tried freeze-dried meals, good or bad, let me know in the comments. We're not even halfway through the list, and item 7 is going to change the way you think about prepping. 5. Rice, pasta, and grains, the backbone of survival. Let's talk about the real MVPs of your pantry. Rice, pasta, and grains. These aren't just staples. They're the foundation of any solid survival plan. Why? Because they're cheap, versatile, and when stored properly, they last for decades. I'm not exaggerating. With airtight containers, Mylar bags, or vacuum sealing with oxygen absorbers, you can stretch the shelf life of these essentials to 10, 20, even 25 years. Imagine pulling out a bag of rice in 2045 and it's still good to go. That's the kind of long-term security you need when the world's falling apart. But here's the harsh reality. The global grain market is in shambles. The war in Ukraine sent shockwaves through the supply chain, and here in 2025, we're still feeling the aftershocks. Prices are climbing, and availability is shrinking. A 20-pound bag of rice that used to cost $10 is now creeping toward $20 in some areas. Whole grain pasta, good luck finding it. I've seen shelves wiped clean twice in the last month, and when you're staring at empty aisles, it hits you. This isn't just a temporary inconvenience, it's a warning. So what's the game plan? Stock up now and don't just toss those bags into your pantry and call it a day. Invest in Mylar bags and oxygen absorbers. It's not as complicated as it sounds. You pour the rice or grains into the bag, toss in an oxygen absorber, seal it up, and store it in a cool, dark place. Done. I did this during the last price spike, and every time I see those shiny bags in my pantry, I breathe a little easier. And let's not forget the versatility of these staples. Pasta with canned tomato sauce has saved dinner in my house more times than I can count. It's not fancy, but it's filling, comforting, and most importantly, it keeps everyone from losing their minds. What about you? Are you seeing price hikes on rice and pasta in your area? Do you have a go-to grain strategy? Drop your tips in the comments and stick around. Item 6 is about to wake you up, literally. 6. Coffee and instant comforts. Morale in a mug. Let's get one thing straight. Coffee isn't a luxury. It's a lifeline. In a crisis, morale is everything. And there's nothing like a warm cup of coffee to remind you that life isn't completely falling apart. But here's the problem. Coffee is becoming harder to get and more expensive by the day. Why? Blame the weather. Brazil and Colombia, the world's top coffee producers, have been hammered by climate chaos. Droughts, floods, you name it. It's all taking a toll on coffee crops. Add in tariffs and supply chain issues, and you've got a perfect storm. Prices are skyrocketing, and every trip to the grocery store feels like a punch to the gut. Now, let's talk instant coffee. I know, it's not glamorous, but hear me out. Properly sealed, instant coffee can last up to 25 years. That's right, 25 years. In a long-term crisis, those little packets could be worth more than gold. I've seen people trade instant coffee for batteries, flashlights, even food. It's lightweight, easy to store, and when the shelves are bare, it's a lifesaver. And it's not just coffee. Tea bags and hot chocolate packets are also worth their weight in gold during a crisis. They're small comforts that make a big difference when everything else feels out of control. I'll never forget my neighbor who joked she could survive the apocalypse as long as she had coffee. 2 weeks into a power outage, she was bartering instant coffee for groceries. It wasn't a joke anymore. So, what's your comfort item? Is it coffee, tea, or maybe hot cocoa by candlelight? Let me know in the comments. And trust me, you'll want to stick around for item 7. It's a game changer. 7. Portable solar panels and power banks. Energy independence. Let's get real, power isn't just a convenience. It's survival. With the government shutdown dragging on, the grid is under more strain than ever. If you think the lights will stay on while everything else crumbles, you're kidding yourself. That's where portable solar panels and power banks come in. These aren't just gadgets, they're lifelines. Brands like EcoFlow and Jackery are leading the charge with portable power stations that can keep your essentials running when the grid goes down. A 500 watt-hour unit can charge your phone 40 times, keep a mini fridge running, or power essential medical devices. Pair it with a foldable solar panel, and you've got a self-sustaining energy source. Here's the kicker. These things are selling out fast. Every time there's a crisis, they go from in stock to back-ordered in a heartbeat. I've seen people wait 6 weeks for a solar panel, and by then it's too late. The beauty of solar power is its simplicity. No noisy generators, no gas fumes, just clean, renewable energy. Imagine your city loses power. Your neighbors are scrambling for extension cords, and you're outside charging your devices with the sun. That's the kind of independence you can't put a price on. Do you rely on medical devices or other electronics? If so, a portable power setup isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity. What's the longest you've gone without power? Share your story in the comments and get ready. Item 8 is about to light up your world. 8. Batteries and LED flashlights. The unsung heroes. Batteries never get the appreciation they deserve. They're not flashy, they're not exciting, but when the lights go out and you're fumbling in the dark, they're suddenly worth their weight in gold. Think about it, how many everyday devices rely on battery, and here's the kicker. batteries are becoming harder to find. The demand for lithium has skyrocketed thanks to the electric vehicle boom, leaving suppliers struggling to keep up. Even basic AA and AAA batteries, the kind you hardly think about until you need them, are becoming less available and prices are climbing. That's why rechargeable batteries are the way to go. They're versatile, cost-effective in the long run, and can be recharged using a solar charger, perfect for emergencies or off-grid situations. And then there are LED flashlights. If you've ever found yourself in a blackout, you know how vital a good flashlight can be. Brands like Olight, Phoenix, and Nightcore are revolutionizing the game with their bright, efficient designs. Many models are USB rechargeable, making them incredibly convenient. Whether you're navigating a power outage, camping, or just looking for something in a dark corner, a reliable flashlight can be a lifesaver. Here's another pro tip: stock up on LED headlamps from your local dollar store. They might not have the bells and whistles of premium brands, but they're surprisingly effective. Plus, they free up your hands, an absolute game changer when you're trying to cook dinner, read instructions, or even fix something in the dark. It's a small investment that can make a big difference. Have you ever been caught unprepared without batteries or a working flashlight? It's a frustrating experience for sure, but one you don't have to repeat. Share your stories in the comments below and stay tuned. There's plenty more insight where this came from. 9 first aid kits and medications. Your silent lifesavers. Let's not sugarcoat it. Medical supplies are absolutely non-negotiable for any emergency preparedness plan. Every time a crisis hits, there's an immediate rush to stock up on food and water, but surprisingly, many people completely overlook one of the most critical areas: health and medical necessities. The sobering truth is, the biggest threats during a widespread disruption aren't always visible, dramatic events. Instead, they're often silent, creeping risks like widespread infections, foodborne illnesses, and untreated injuries that can quickly escalate without proper care. Here's a reality check. Foodborne illnesses, like E. coli and Listeria, infected thousands of people last year alone. This isn't fear-mongering. It's a documented fact, showing how easily a simple meal can turn into a serious health threat. One bad batch of food, or a failure in refrigeration, and suddenly your well-stocked pantry becomes a potential liability if you lack the means to treat the resulting sickness. And don't even get me started on the fragility of supply chains. Most medical supplies, from basic bandages to complex pharmaceuticals, are imported, with a major shutdown grinding everything to a halt. Even common items like antiseptics, pain relievers, and medical tape are quick to vanish from shelves, becoming impossible to find when you need them most. A proper first aid kit isn't just a nice-to-have addition to your emergency supplies, it's your absolute lifeline. Stock up diligently on essentials such as antiseptics, a variety of bandages, from small adhesive strips to larger gauze pads, trauma dressings for more serious wounds, and medical gloves to maintain hygiene. Don't forget crucial over-the-counter medications like ibuprofen for pain and fever, acetaminophen, antihistamines for allergies, and antidiarrheal tablets. These are the unsung heroes of any emergency kit, providing immediate relief for common ailments that can become debilitating in a crisis. Trust me, you don't want to be the person scrambling frantically for painkillers when a headache or a minor injury strikes and pharmacies are closed or empty. Here's a pro tip that can make a real difference. Check out the American Society of Health System Pharmacists database. It tracks prescription shortages in real time, allowing you to stay ahead of the curve and plan accordingly. If you or someone in your household relies on critical prescription medications for ongoing health conditions, talk to your doctor about securing at least a 90-day supply if possible. Don't wait until pharmacies are already out of stock and your health is on the line. I've been there myself. Last summer, a nasty stomach virus swept through my neighborhood, impacting nearly every family. My meticulously prepared first aid kit, complete with rehydration salts and anti-nausea medication, saved me from frantic pharmacy runs and hours of waiting for help at an overwhelmed clinic. Being prepared isn't just about bare survival, it's about safeguarding your health and, crucially, about maintaining your peace of mind when everything else feels uncertain. Have you ever faced a medicine shortage or had to improvise first aid at home when professional help wasn't readily available? Share your tips and experiences in the comments. And stick around. Item 10 is something most people don't think about until it's far too late, with uncomfortable and potentially unhealthy consequences. 10 hygiene supplies. The overlooked essentials. Let's be honest, hygiene products often don't get the attention they truly deserve in emergency planning discussions. They're not flashy, they're certainly not exciting, But when you run out of them, you'll feel the impact immediately and acutely. Think about it: toilet paper, soap, toothpaste, feminine hygiene products, baby wipes. These are the items that quietly keep your life running smoothly and comfortably on a daily basis. And when they're suddenly gone, for whatever reason, it quickly devolves into chaos and discomfort. Here's the thing about modern supply chains. They are often interconnected and surprisingly fragile, meaning issues are already setting us up for another round of shortages on these everyday items. These are almost always the first items to disappear from shelves when panic buying hits, as people instinctively gravitate towards basic necessities. Remember the Great Toilet Paper Crisis of 2020? People were literally fighting in aisles over rolls of tea. It was fodder for memes and jokes online, but it was a brutal reality for those who simply needed to replenish their stock. The solution is remarkably simple, and doesn't require a huge upfront investment. Stock up gradually over time. Every time you go shopping for groceries or household goods, make it a habit to grab one extra item from your hygiene list. One additional roll of toilet paper, one extra bar of soap, one tube of toothpaste, beyond what you immediately need. It doesn't seem like much individually, but over time, these small additions accumulate significantly. Before you know it, you'll have a comfortable 3-month supply of essentials without breaking the bank or causing a scene at the store with an overflowing cart. And let's not forget the versatility of certain items. Baby wipes, for example, are a lifesaver, not just for parents with infants, but for anyone who needs a quick cleanup when running water is scarce or unavailable. Hand sanitizer, deodorant, and even dental floss can make a huge difference in maintaining your hygiene, preventing potential health issues, and crucially boosting morale during a stressful crisis. Personal cleanliness contributes significantly to psychological well-being. I've had my fair share of awkward moments due to a lack of preparation. During a prolonged lockdown early on, I ran completely out of hand soap and spent a week avoiding handshakes or any close contact like my life depended on it, feeling constantly self-conscious. It's often these small, seemingly insignificant and overlooked items that make a difficult crisis feel 10 times worse and more demoralizing. What's your absolute hygiene must-have that you wouldn't want to be without? Have you ever seen a store completely run out of essentials like toothpaste or baby wipes? Drop your stories and experiences in the comments below. And trust me, item 11 is a game changer for anyone who plans to actually eat cooked meals during a crisis, not just cold ration. 11 Alternative Cooking Methods. When the grid goes dark, let's cut to the chase. The ability to cook is fundamentally tied to survival and comfort in an emergency. The moment the power grid goes out, your modern kitchen becomes little more than a museum exhibit. Your shiny electric appliances, completely useless. You're suddenly left staring at a pile of uncooked rice, raw pasta, or canned goods, wondering what on earth you're supposed to do next without heat. This is precisely where alternative cooking methods become absolutely essential. You can stockpile all the food in the world, enough to last months, but without a reliable way to cook it, you're often stuck eating cold beans straight from the can and dry pasta, which quickly becomes unappetizing. The simplest and often most cost-effective solution is a butane camping stove. These compact portable devices are surprisingly affordable, think around $20 to $40 for a basic unit, and can be safely used indoors with proper ventilation to avoid carbon monoxide buildup. Just make absolutely sure you stock up on an ample supply of butane canisters. Their prices are notorious for tripling during a crisis, and shelves empty at an alarming rate. Is butane not quite your thing? Or do you need a more robust option? Propane camp stoves are another fantastic choice, particularly if you're planning to cook for a larger family or need more sustained heat. Again, ensure you're using them in a well-ventilated area, preferably outdoors or in a garage with the door open. And if you're looking for something even more low-tech and sustainable for long-term use, consider a rocket stove. These ingenious devices burn twigs, small branches, and other scrap wood very efficiently, making them perfect for outdoor cooking when conventional fuel sources are depleted. They convert minimal fuel into concentrated heat. Live in an apartment building and lack outdoor space. A small portable charcoal grill, used responsibly and safely on a fire-safe balcony, can be a genuine lifesaver. Stock up on charcoal briquettes now, keeping them dry and stored safely, and you'll be ready to cook hot meals even when the electrical grid goes down completely. I've seen people cook full, delicious meals by the ambient light of lanterns on their balconies during blackouts, and honestly, it creates a unique communal vibe during challenging times. The key to all of this is proactive preparation. Grabbing the cooking gear itself is just step one. Making absolutely sure you have enough corresponding fuel is step two, and it's just as if not more critical. Nobody wants to be the person frantically trying to cook dinner with only a sputtering half-empty canister of butane while hungry family members watch. Have you ever had to cook without electricity or gas? Share your best survival meals or your most memorable cooking fails in the comments below. And stick around, item 12 is the one thing most people entirely forget about until it's too late. But it's absolutely essential for safety and coordination. 12 communication devices. Staying connected when it matters most. Let's talk about something most people overlook, yet it's foundational. The ability to communicate. When the power grid goes down, and cell towers stop functioning due to lack of electricity or damage, how are you going to stay informed, reach out for help, or check on loved ones? If your entire emergency plan relies solely on your smartphone, you're in for a very rude awakening when it becomes nothing more than a paperweight. This is where dedicated emergency radios truly shine. A hand crank or solar-powered radio, especially one equipped with NOAA weather alerts, can be your primary link to the outside world, keeping you informed with critical news and official advisories when everything else fails. I personally keep one by my front door, and it has proven to be a lifesaver. Last winter, my entire block lost power and cell service for 2 unsettling days. That little radio was the only way I could get reliable updates, emergency alerts, and a sense of what was happening beyond my immediate surroundings. But let's take it a step further to enhance local coordination. GMRS, General Mobile Radio Service radios, are a game-changer for short-range communication. These aren't the flimsy toy walkie-talkies you might find in the camping aisle of a department store. GMRS radios boast real, practical range, often extending for several miles in open terrain, and are perfect for staying in touch with family members across a neighborhood or coordinating efforts with close neighbors. During a recent localized crisis, my neighborhood successfully used GMRS radios to coordinate everything from medical assistance needs to sharing vital resources and information, proving incredibly effective. Here's the harsh truth we often avoid. America's communication infrastructure, while seemingly robust, is often hanging by a thread and vulnerable to disruptions. We've seen numerous examples from major network outages to system failures. Air traffic control is frequently short-staffed, and cascading delays and issues ripple through various critical systems. Don't bet your entire emergency plan on a fragile, easily disrupted network that may not be there when you need it most. What's your backup communication plan? Do you have a reliable crank radio, a solar communicator for charging devices, or a GMRS system to talk to your local community? Share your strategies and experiences in the comments section. Remember, effective communication isn't just about staying informed during an emergency, it's fundamentally about staying safe, coordinating help, and maintaining a vital connection to your community.